Hey everybody, welcome to the Chair with James. We're going to preview the Division Round of the NFL playoffs here in 2021 of the 2020 season. That's always awkward and trying to get an understanding of, hey, it's the 2020 season, but we're in the 2021 playoffs anyway. The wildcard weekend, quickly to recap, some of it was fun and some of it was just odd and maybe a waste of time in some ways. But the first game, the Colts and Bills on Saturday, because there was 3 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday. That was a fun one. Colts did whatever they could to get back, but in the end, the Bills held on to win 27-24 and move on. And if it was Phillip Rivers' last game, he went out the way pretty much his career went. It was a real microcosm of his whole career. Getting to the playoffs and then losing in the playoffs, unfortunately. But he'll be remembered as a tremendous competitor and throwing for yardage and being on good teams, even some great teams. And I think he did a great job, even though he was on a new team. After being on the Chargers for so many years, he went to the Colts and made the playoffs, and I wish him nothing but the best if he does retire. Next game, the Rams and the Seahawks. Now, I thought the Seahawks would win. It'd be pretty easy. LA had John Warford starting over Goff because Goff with his broken thumb. I didn't know how he would play, but he ended up playing, Jared Goff did, because Warford got hurt on a concussion. It was a really nasty hit that a Seahawk laid on him. Anyway, Goff came in and did what he needed to do. He did well. They ran the ball well. The Seahawks basically played as they did the last, 8-9 weeks of the season, where they got off to the fast start, the fast track, and then just came out and was sluggish, both offensively and defensively. And it was very confusing. After all these years of being a dominant force, winning a Super Bowl, some players have left, but it's basically Russell Wilson by himself, and if he's not doing well, everybody else isn't doing well. The offensive line isn't protecting him, and you saw that as the best defense in the league. The Ram defense, led by Aaron Donald and Floyd and Jalen Ramsey, well, they did the job. They got the win 30-20. LA moves on. The last game of that Saturday was the Buccaneers defeating Washington 31-23. Heineke did a great job as the quarterback for Washington, as Alex Smith wasn't able to play. And for Taylor Heineke, he showed up well. He had that flying touchdown, and then he threw for one. He had an absolute dime of a throw for that touchdown, if you recall. But experience beats out the young man. Tom Brady getting the job done. Final score is 31-23 Buccaneers. And just credit to Washington, even being a 6-10 ball club, to win the NFC East, and getting to the playoffs. That was a feat that has never been done before, and hopefully we'll never see again. Hopefully, we'll have an 8-8 winner next year in the NFC East. Something incredible, For Sunday, Ravens and Titans started off, and I didn't really know what to expect out of this game. You thought, okay, the Titans should be fine if they have a great mix of running and passing, but Derrick Henry was stopped by the Ravens. I think he only had 80 yards or something like that. The Raven defense also got some key turnovers. I believe they were down 13-0, and then the Ravens scored 20 unanswered to win. Kind of went off in a bad way. The last interception they had, I think it was Marcus Peters. Then they went out to the tight end logo and stomped on it. But you can say, it happened last year where the Titans stomped on the Raven logo. So it was a little payback. Need some get back, as James Brown once said. So I guess it all evens out for last year. And Lamar Jackson gets his first playoff win. Good to him. And Titans, it took the last week of the season to win the division. There was a chance, they couldn't even make the playoffs if they lost. So to barely get in, like the Ravens did too, to get the wild card. But credit Lamar for not giving up and the Ravens not to give up. That was great for them. The next game was Bears and Saints, and I didn't expect a lot, and I didn't get a lot out of it. The final was 21-9, but it seemed worse than that, sorry to say. Bears just didn't have anything going, honestly. Had drop passes, some key turnovers. And unfortunately, this will not be the end for Nagy and Trubisky. I believe they get one more shot at it. And the amazing thing to me, what I read by Nagy's coaching time with the Bears, is that they've been 500 or better. So I guess that's grounds to keep him around. If that's the case, we'll see what happens. And Drew Brees and the Saints, they move on. You do want to see more out of the Saints offensively. To beat like a Green Bay Packer team. If they meet up, that's a key. If they meet up, so for the Saints, they move on. The Bears are out. That's probably a good thing. I didn't want to really see the Bears in the playoffs anyway, because I knew this was bound to happen, where they were not going to show up for the playoff game. I mean, they showed up, but you know what I mean. Not do well, and just waste everybody's time. And then Sunday night came around, and everybody thought, okay, with the Browns not having their head coach and a few other coaches, their tight end coach, I believe, and you got offensive coordinators calling the plays and being the head coach, you thought, okay, the Steelers are easily going to win. When I came home after exercising, it was 28-0 Browns at the end of one quarter, and I'm thinking, the hell is going on? Did the NFL spot the Browns 28 points, and then here come the Steelers? They're going to come back and win easily? Well, that didn't happen. The Steelers self-destructed, basically. 3 picks for Ben Roethlisberger in the first quarter. 4 altogether. And the Browns just capitalized on that, and credit to them. Haven't won a playoff game since 1994. I believe that was Belichick over Parcells. Browns over Patriots in the old Cleveland Stadium. And with that being said, there's a lot of reasons that Kevin Stefanski could be Coach of the Year for the Cleveland Browns. Even though he wasn't there for that playoff game, sources are saying, oh yeah, he probably was in his basement watching the game. So I think that's maybe one of the biggest upsets in playoff history. Final was 48-37. There were points tacked on later. The Steelers tried to make a comeback at one point. I believe they were down 12 at one point. I think it was 35-23, I believe, or 38-23. At any rate, the Steelers kept it going, and Baker Mayfield, the running game, Jarvis Landry, the tight ends did well. All of them. All three of the tight ends for the Browns did so well. So credit to them. Credit to the Browns. After not making the playoffs since 2002, make it this year, and man, they got a game. And they get to move on. So Saturday is coming tomorrow, of course. And the Rams and Packers meet in Lambeau. I don't think they've ever met at Lambeau. At least as the LA Rams, I don't think. I think the Packers were in St. Louis one year back in the early 2000s. I might be right on that. Anyway, I think the Packers will easily win this game. Maybe the Rams will keep it close, and I think the one matchup to look forward to is whoever. There's a couple I should say, but the one I'm really keen on is Adams versus Ramsey, the receiver versus corner matchup there. Really looking forward to that. Seeing who gets the upper hand. Seeing if Ramsey needs a double team. That's going to be interesting to see. And then whoever Aaron Donald is getting blocked by. You could have a double team. You could have a triple team. That'll free up Floyd. And we'll see if Leonard Floyd, I believe that's his name, the linebacker number 54. And then the others on the defensive line for LA can make a play happen. So we'll see. We'll see if the pressure gets to Rodgers, and if Adams is covered, how good is the running game going to be with Jones, Aaron Jones? That'll be interesting to see. Hopefully it's a real close game, but I think the Packers win. I could be wrong. Next game on Saturday, Ravens at Bills. Now this one, you almost feel like anything goes with the Titans losing to the Ravens like they did. Boy, if the Ravens could stop Singletary of the Bills, the rushing attack, that'd be interesting. The injury to Moss is very key for the Bills. They gotta come up with another running back to do well. You have Diggs, who probably be guarded, I guess, by Marcus Peters. Of course, the size advantage and the height advantage goes to Diggs. That'll be interesting to see what happens there. But then you have Lamar Jackson against the Bills defense. Now that will be very fun to see. The Bills, again, they have a great defense. Lamar coming off the playoff win, he feels like that monkey is off his back. And now he can move on. And it would be interesting to see him get another playoff road win, 2 in a row. That would be something. I think I'll go with the Bills, though. I really do. I think I'll go with the Bills for that game on Saturday night. It should be fun, though. And there will be, I'm guessing there will be fans there again for Buffalo, like there was last week. I believe there was 5,000 to 6,000 at Bill Stadium at Orchard Park. Sunday, the Browns and the Chiefs. Now, I hope this game is close. I hope this isn't a one-time wonder for the Browns. Somehow they pull off the upset, just playing a perfect game. You're hoping that the Browns catch the Chiefs off guard, and since the Chiefs had a week off, 2 weeks off when you think about it, because the starters of Kansas City was out for the Week 17 game against the Chargers. So in reality, you hope, okay, maybe you get a lame quarter from the Chiefs, but they're going to heat up. They're like the Golden State Warriors when they had Durant, Clay, and Curry, where they could score at will. You know, you have Hill, you have Kelsey, you have Le'Veon Bell, the other receivers to make it happen. With Pat Mahomes being great, you know, finding everyone and running for first down smartly. You know, he's just amazing. He's just absolutely amazing how he does what he does. I think the Chiefs win this pretty soundly, but I hope it's a Browns upset and they make it a game somehow. But I just don't see it. You know, it's a great story what the Browns did, and I hope we're not talking here next week, echoing that statement. Hey, it was a great story, but it wasn't meant to be long lasting. It was just one shining moment. Hopefully we're not talking about that, but we'll see. The last game on Sunday and of the divisional round is the Bucks at the Saints. If you recall from the regular season, the Saints on opening day, week 1, after a while destroyed the Bucks, and then there was a Sunday night matchup with the Bucks hosting the Saints and absolutely destroyed them. I mean, I don't remember the score, but all I remember, it was a total beatdown. It wasn't close. It wasn't even close. And I still think that the Saints have the upper hand. I don't give the Bucks much of a chance, but I could be wrong. I hope it's a great game, and I hope it's not a waste of time and a beatdown. Because if it is, I'll probably go right to sleep and not have to worry about anything. But I think the Saints win pretty handily. They get Michael Thomas back. They have Kamara. They still have Emmanuel Sanders. You got the weapons there, Jared Cook. Because, hey, the Bucks have some weapons too, but I don't know. I just don't see the Bucks winning at all. But again, I hope for a good game, but I think the Saints win pretty handily. So that's what I think. I'm going to go Packers, Bills, Chiefs, Saints. So all the home teams win and move on, in my opinion. But I really don't know. I claim to know something, but it seems at times I don't know anything. And that's how this football season has been. So it's all in the air. I mean, if the Rams could win and the Browns could win their first games, you know, if they win their second games, you know, anything in the world is possible when you think about it. So we'll just go from there, and we'll see you next week on the chair. And take care, everybody. Enjoy the games. Stay safe.